to see American accent.
This is really happening. Yeah? You nervous? If you want to impact mass culture, it's going to go really big.
National publicity stunts, viral campaigns, armies of women in every single city.
I can afford to eat at a restaurant. Where am I going to get the cash for a revolution?
I'm about to get evicted, and I have nothing left to lose.
I honestly believe that we can change the laws in this country. Why is my nipple more obscene than a murder?
One idea can reach more people in 1 week than Jesus, Buddha, or Moses can reach in over thousands of years.
If you're in this to change the world, you're in the wrong business.
We're out of money and we need a plan.
This whole thing is going to fall apart.
When masses align, Rome falls, Egypt falls, all falls down.
Censorship giants control the flow of nudity and violence into our theaters.
Our sexuality has been taken away from us and is essentially being sold back to us. First, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. And then you win.
You have to call a lawyer. Someone is definitely getting arrested.
Introduce the topic. Okay, so our social justice issue was Free the Nipple, and essentially we discussed how women and feminist allies have fought in the past for equal rights like voting and ownership of land. However, the fight for gender equality is still not over, and it's something that we are dealing with today. And women are constantly marginalized for their bodies, which they are born with, they have no control over. And unfortunately, misogyny is so commonly accepted in our society that the sexualization of female bodies is often ignored and accepted as the way it is. And women who attempt to do unsexy tasks that men are typically able to complete without any backlash are still sexualized. And the Free the Nipple campaign is typically a way for us to denote the over-sexualization, and it speaks to feminist values of fair treatment of all gender expressions. And it specifically is a movement for female empowerment, self-love, and it advocates for healthy representation in the media. And this movement is also very relevant today because the over-sexualization of women has very real and dangerous consequences. And for as long as systemic misogyny continues to exist in our society, people will continue to commit such heinous acts of violence and get away with it. And as real women are being assaulted, ridiculed, and raped on a daily basis, that just shows how important this campaign is today. And movements like the Free the Nipple that advocate for such respect of the female bodies are very important in today's society. We're trying to discuss how females have this oppression inflicted on them, even from birth, from when they're like wrapped in a pink blanket. It's like that's where it all begins. And sadly, it starts at this really young age, especially for when it comes to school. So we have this big society, this systemic misogyny that's ingrained in our education system, inflicts on this very young age, specifically when it comes to dress codes and dress code violations. And just for an example, if you were to Google type in girl uniform, you would find out this woman, sexy and clad, which is very inappropriate when you would think of like a younger girl who just wants to look up how I want to look in my school uniform. You'll find something like this. While on the reverse side of the spectrum, if a young boy wanted to look it up, you would be able to find someone who looks just like him, innocent. And that's what this sort of innocence of youth is being ripped from women at a very young age. And if we go to the next page, this goes even into high school, this sort of dress code, that this girl here is just one example of unfair treatment of females who obviously her dress code isn't inhibiting her education. However, how the dress code is laid out is unfair to females or those who identify as female traits.
And so their education is being less valued because they're taken out of class because they think that the boys cannot concentrate because of the girls. And so the boys' education is more valued in that sort of sense, diminishing girls' worth, saying you're being a distraction to the boys, and that you need to make sure that you're caring for yourself and also the boys, and really that their education should be coming first. But unfortunately, they're being over-sexualized to the point where it's unfair for them. And then going from elementary school to high school, and now the young woman is out in society, and we're talk a lot about how females can do unsexy tasks, whether it be trying to get an education or walking down the street. We have this modern day feminism, which is targeting slut shaming or being catcalled, but it's a really like a gateway that personifies this sort of like stigma that it's all right and it's okay to treat women on the basis of just how they look. And so we won't show this video, but this is just a woman who does a social experiment where she walks in New York City and she's wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Nothing really sexy about walking down the streets, but for 10 hours, again and again, she's reprimanded by the way she looks. A stranger even follows her for 5 minutes and just stares her down. And it's just something that she experiences on a daily basis, and a lot of females can relate to.
And here we have another example. Basically, a woman is working in their office wearing appropriate professional attire, but gets sexually harassed. Sexual assault, no matter physical, verbal, or emotional, does go against Title VII of the United States Civil Rights Act of 1964. However, sexual assaults still occur and make up 24% of all workplace crimes. Here's another image, basically showing that nursing is like a shopping mall. We can't allow women to brazenly display their breasts. Most insanely, women can be feeding their child as an active human and natural as it gets. However, they are still sexualized to the point where purposefully sexualized images of women are more accepted in society than unsexy, natural acts.
Alright, so intersectionality was defined by Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989 as the way that women experience oppression in varying configurations and in varying degrees of intensity. So basically, you're born with multiple identities, whether it be social class, economic status, race, religion, sexual orientation, identity, any of that stuff. And it's impossible to pull apart multiple identities. And this is important to understand the difference between white feminism and inclusivity. Not all women are white, nor are all women born with a vagina. Moreover, the needs of women are not standard for Black, trans females experience a different sense of oppression than a white cis female does.
So unfortunately, one article written by Georgina Jones argued that for her, free the nipple was feminism with the argument about shaving the leg was a tumbler. And this gave an ego boost for those comfortable enough to participate. Some argue that free the nipple movement lacks intersectionality. Film clips show primarily white women, all of whom are things able-bodied. The unconscious ignorance of diversity is one that we cannot allow with any feminist movement in 2015. Feminism without intersectionality is pointless. Freeing nipples and only representing nipples that adhere to patriarchal standards of beauty is pointless. You are not automatically a white feminist because you are a white heterosexual woman, but you are a white feminist if your feminism is not intersectional and only meant for women.
So, Free the Nipple is a movement that has the potential to make a real positive impact, but it is a necessity that the needs of all women are addressed when being an ally or an activist. Because if we leave out the needs of women of color or impoverished women and binary women, the movement will not succeed.
Examples of advocacy. Fortunately, a lot of the advocacy for the Free the Nipple campaign is very very high. One of their most well-known advocates is Leah Dunham. She's from the popular HBO series Girls. She uses her platform to speak out very frequently about the campaign, and she is even known for posting many photos to Instagram, working her way around the rules of Instagram where they don't allow the woman's nipple to be free. Celebrities have also been a big part of advocating for the Free the Nipple campaign. Celebrities such as Miley Cyrus, Rihanna, Cara Delevingne, and Russell Simmons advocate for Free the Nipple very strongly. Celebrities have taken extra steps posting themselves topless on Instagram, which, like I said earlier, goes against the Instagram rules and their censorship, to show how ludicrous the inequality of not having the women's nipple be on social media. Even male celebrities have joined the movement, which is also great to come along with equality. A social movement or like get together that's really popular within the campaign are flash mobs. That's basically where women get together in mobs in New York where it's illegal to make a statement to those who are ignorant about their right to bear breasts. There's even a Facebook page about it. And another popular social movement is nurse-ins. Women come together to stage nurses to protest the right that women should be able to feed their children without discrimination. And this is a link about training breastfeeding, and then this is the link that we're going to show to the social.
What's up, guys? I'm Joey Salas, and this is the Breastfeeding Public Social Experiment Part 2, Sexy versus Breastfeeding. Let's see how people react.
I guess so. Actually, you can probably follow me.
Seriously, man, you have to do that again? It's disgusting. Why is this disgusting?
Girls, her tits are out.
But her boobs are out too. That's okay.
Right, that's just how her is. That's fine. It's not gross. It's just
See, this is something natural, and that's just sexy. So you think that's okay?
You can do that somewhere else. That's not appropriate here.
Well, if you have a problem with that boob being out, you should be able to have a problem with that boob being out too.
I mean, I guess I just think that's kind of gross.
All right. Why do you have to do that in public? That's disgusting.
Kind of the general idea is, how does one get involved with this cause and just this whole idea of, allowing women to just have more like sexualized freedom, like we shouldn't have it held back so much. So one thing that you can do is just teach young kids about it and, teach them the equality, about equality and about, different body images, and that all body images are, a positive thing. We all have, yes, there's male and female, but they're all, in general the same thing. Another thing you can do is advocate for equality on social media by supporting those who push the limits of bias and posting one's own thoughts and opinions.
Social media is a huge thing these days, so I think that it's a very important and a really great way of getting your voice out there. You can also support organizations who advocate for female rights and empowerment, so organizations such as Planned Parenthood, Feminist Minority Foundation, National Organization for Women, Girl Scouts of the USA, YWCA USA, and Zana International. You can also boycott films, news networks, television shows, magazines that are misogynist. They portray a negative image of women, and I think in the long run it can have a very, very negative effect in the minds of viewers. And finally, you can speak up for women in real life. Stand up for women who are belittled for breastfeeding in public, who are ridiculed for their religious identification, or to those who receive catcalls. Do not be a bystander. In general, this whole phenomenon is not going to end unless people speak up about it and, take action against it.